Hi everyone, this video is for English 104. Hard to believe, we are in week 7. We're halfway through the semester at the end of this week. So be aware of your grade at all times. Make sure you are checking your grade to make sure it's at 73.4 or higher. At the end of this week, at the end of week 7, I'm going to be sending a round of academic warnings. You get one if you are below that mark because that's indicating you are not successful in the class. So just keep an eye on that and make sure that you don't have any missing assignments, those kinds of things. Remember, I do allow late submissions. We give credit for that. So make sure you get your work in. But in the meantime, let's take a look at week 7. Very few assignments. In fact, only one. However, it's very time consuming, which is why there's only one. So what we are working on today are databases, this week, database sources worksheet. So in our last week, you explored some sources on the internet and you were looking at web pages. This week, you are exploring the SMC databases and you are going to find some sources for your paper or for your topic that you think have good potential, and you are going to complete the worksheet with that information. So the worksheet is there, the file, you're going to open the file, and you need to complete all the information. This is an interactive worksheet, so you can type right on it. It's meant to help you establish some credibility and those kinds of things. Yeah, this is 2 database sources. So I do want to preface this. The databases must be from SMC. They have to be our databases. In other words, ones we subscribe to. You may not use, so for example, a lot of my students go to college more than one place. They may, or in their high school, they have access to databases. There's nothing wrong with them, but for this particular assignment, you must limit your search to databases within that SMC subscribes to. So what you need to do is fill out all these information. So you go into the database first and search and see if you can find something. Use some search terms. If you're having trouble with search terms or you're having trouble with searching the databases, reach out to Jen Zimmer. She's fantastic. She can maybe give you a couple of guidance pieces on what terms to use that will work for your topic to get you good results. I also have videos in the resources of where the databases are and how to use the databases here at SMC. So the first thing is when you find one that you're like, oh, this will be good, I want to use this for my essay in some way, shape, or form. You write the name of the article, you give me the URL, just copy and paste it from where you find it within there, and then briefly describe how you found it in the database. What I'm looking for here are basically what were the search terms. Did you use advanced search, not just a regular search, that kind of a thing. And then I want you to give me author and accuracy. In other words, you're checking credibility. Who's the author of this article, of this database source? You find the author. Now, keep in mind, it can be an individual, it could be a company, it could be other, but in other words, who wrote it. I have a fairly large issue if you check I couldn't tell. Very few articles do I accept that you can't find who wrote them. That's just a big red flag. There are some, but there are very, very few that are credible. So especially in the databases, because the databases articles are usually vetted and checked, make sure you are really looking for the author. This should be easy to find within the article. So when you do find the author, how is the author associated? Are they associated with anything? Are they with a company? Are they with an academic institution? Are they with a government agency, etc.? And then what were the qualifications of the author? Who created this article or who wrote this article? Almost all the articles give you a little brief synopsis of the author, or within the article, when you read it, it does a reveal of something about the author. Sometimes they're just an expert in the field or they're teaching in the field. Those kinds of things. So tell me what type of a database source this is. Is it from a newspaper? Is it from a magazine? Et cetera, et cetera. Make sure you You check, is it a scholarly one or not? And then what does the database source provide? So I'm kind of asking you here to think about how you're going to be using this. Is it objective, factual information? Is it biased? And remember, it's okay if something is biased, you just simply have to be aware of it and make sure that you're addressing that, okay? And publication dates, when was it published? The relevance, in other words, how do you think it's going to help you in your essay? Is it answering one of your questions? Are you using it for a counter argument? Those type of things. And then overall evaluation. Do you believe it's a credible and trustworthy source? Yes. Tell me why you feel it is. No. Tell me why you feel it is not. And then go ahead and practice a works cited entry. So if you had to have this on your works cited page, go ahead. How would that format look? What would it look like right there? And then you do that all over again for a second database source. So essentially this assignment, you are looking for 2 sources within the databases. Now, keep in mind, if you don't know where the SMC databases are, you are welcome to take a look at the resources, those kinds of things up here, accessing databases and searching. These are some videos that talk about, number one, the benefits of a database, and then how to find them or where to get them on our SMC Wired page. And then also some videos on searching. So it's kind of, databases, it's not a matter of if you're going to find information. It's kind of like a needle in a haystack. There's so much out there. You have to narrow your search in order to find enough sources. Once again, I do want to emphasize, reach out to Jen Zimmer. She is a reference librarian. If you're having trouble with searching, you can reach out to me as well. She just happens to be the expert in this area. And my students rave about her for her helpfulness and being able to guide them appropriately with search terms that got them better results. And then, of course, there's a video on Boolean operators. This is how to make your search terms a little more powerful to get what you want to get. And then here is a video on citing sources from databases. And of course, there are other hot links here like Nightsite. We've already talked about that one, Saginaw Valley. So the resources I'm hoping you'll find particularly helpful this week, as I said, there's only one assignment and it's the worksheet, but don't just go into the database and complete that worksheet on the first couple you find. The whole point of this week is you are researching the databases. So I want you to really spend time looking, browsing, reading articles, and then really only complete the worksheet on ones you know you're going to be using for your topic in your essay. If you do this right, then what happens is you have 2 sources ready to go for your annotated bibliography, which is coming up. If you did that for the internet sources, if you had 2 really good ones, you're like, oh, this is going to be excellent, I'm going to use these in my essay, incredible, all that kind of stuff. If you did that for the internet ones, the web sources last week, and you do it for these 2 databases, what has happened now? You've got 4 sources ready to roll, and you're halfway done with your annotated bib, because you're going to take that information, and you have to do a little reformatting and summarizing, but it's already there for the annotated bibliography. So if you are doing due diligence and you're doing a really good job on your sourcing, you are halfway to completing your annotated bibliography, which is coming up. So this is why I emphasize, don't just go through the motions, make sure you're doing really good research. Make sure the 2 that you pick for the worksheet are 2 that are really valuable to you, that you know you're going to be using in your essay at some point, because then you're kind of cutting your work down later. That's it for week 7. That's all I have. As always, you are welcome to reach out to me, meet with me, whatever you need to do to answer any questions or concerns. Hope you have a good week. Happy writing. Happy researching. Don't forget my office hours. I'm always available during those times. Pop in at any point.